What's good, YouTube? It's your guy, Pop Off 93, Boxing and Sports. Listen, man. Like I told y'all before, Shakur Stevenson, best young boxer coming up besides Jerron Boots Ennis. The Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson fight. You can't believe what new media, old media is reporting. I knew Oscar Valdez was never gonna sign that contract. He been running from Shakur Stevenson since 126. He knows Shakur Stevenson is a better boxer than him. He's scared to fight Shakur Stevenson. Even if he was to sign a contract like Ryan Garcia did. I done seen fighters sign a contract, then a week of the fight or the day of the fight, pull out the fight. Make up a lie, say they hurt or they got COVID. So you can't believe that these guys is gonna fight. One fighter is gonna fight the other until you see them in the ring actually about the fight. Guys been ducking other fighters forever. That's Eddie Reynoso, Canelo Alvarez. That's their blueprint. And Oscar Valdez is in their same gym with them. They never fight the best fighters. They avoid fighters that they think got a chance to beat them. Oscar Valdez, and let me get this straight for the record. It got nothing to do with race. I got Mexican friends. I love Mexicans. They part of the Hebrew Israelites with us, with me, the Puerto Ricans, the Jew, the Black American Jews. That's the tribe of Judah, right? So it got nothing to do with race. I got Mexican friends. I love Mexican. It got to do with Oscar Valdez as a man. He's scary. He don't got no heart. His last fight he lost. They gave him the win. He got beat up. He lost that fight by Robinson Conceição. Outboxed him. The guy is Oscar Valdez is robotic. He's a bum. He can't box. He's flat-footed. The man feet is in cement. He can't move. If you're a fighter that could box, that could move like Shakur Stevenson, he won't touch Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson gonna shut him out, beat him every round. And that's what he's scared of, getting embarrassed like he did his last fight. If you go watch his last fight against the brown-skinned brother, another Hebrew Israelite, Robinson Conceição, who they robbed for the win, and gave Oscar Valdez shouldn't even still be a champion right now. It should be Shakur Stevenson fighting Robinson Conceição, but they robbed him, man. He outboxed Oscar Valdez, beat him at least 6 rounds to 4. He beat him around. He beat him 7 rounds to 4. Straight out box. No, 8 rounds to 4. Straight out box Oscar Valdez, but they cheated. The refs was paid off. You know how Bob Arum and Top Rank do, and they gave the fight to Oscar Valdez. Everybody know Oscar Valdez got beat up. You should look at his face the last fight. Oscar Valdez face is crazy damaged. Swollen eyes. His eyes are swollen shut. Face all beaten, battered, nose busted, lips. He got bruises everywhere on his face. The other guy looked like he wasn't even in a fight. Face is clean. And they gave the fight. Point blank. Don't believe that Oscar Valdez is going to fight Shakur Stevenson until you see them in the ring. Even if he signed a contract, which I don't think he's going to do. Don't believe that fight is going to happen until you see them face to face. Because these fighters really don't have no obligation. They don't got nothing in place in boxing where a fighter has to really could force another fighter. Even with the mandates, they say somebody is mandatory. Certain fighters like Canelo Alvarez with certain white skin colors, they could have a mandatory and not fight them, refuse to fight them, and they won't get no consequences. WBC, IBF, these other sanctioning bodies will not strip these guys of their belt and will not force these guys to fight another great fighter. That's just how it is. But if you're a brown-skinned fighter and you refuse your mandatory, they will suspend you. They will strip you of your title. and they will blackball you and not give you fights, not pay you. They do it all the time. For instance, Jaime Munguia at 160, Triple G at 160, even Canelo Alvarez when he was at 154. They all was Demetrius Andrade's mandatory. Jaime Munguia been Demetrius Andrade's mandatory for 2 years. They didn't force him to. They not forcing him to fight as mandatory. They letting him pick whoever he want to fight. He will not. He refused to fight Demetrius Andrade. Triple G, same thing. He got a belt at 160. Demetrius Andrade got a belt at 160. You think two champions at the same weight class will want to fight each other? Well, one of them want to fight. Demetrius Andrade, once he calls out Triple G for that fight all the time. Triple G refuses to fight Demetrius Andrade. You know why? Because he don't think Triple G is not confident in his abilities as a fighter to beat Demetrius Andrade. And a lot of these guys, they willing to lose to another person, but they don't want to lose to the person that everybody say they could beat. It's crazy. These guys have no heart and no soul. They're not real fighters. They're not throwback fighters. They're not Hagler, Sugar Ray, Tommy Hearns, Vander Holyfield, Muhammad Ali, Pernell Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather. These guys didn't care if another fighter was better than them. If they thought they could beat another fighter, if everybody thought they could beat another fighter, they still would take the chance and try to fight and sign a contract to fight another great fighter to make a classic. It wasn't so much about the money. It was about legacy. It was about giving the fans, giving the people the fight, a great fight. Win, lose, or draw. You get so much respect if you fight a great fighter and you give it your all. If you lose, but you gave it your all. You earn the respect of the public, the people, and the other fighter. He know he was in a fight. You didn't avoid him. You didn't duck him. You wasn't scared to fight him. You get no respect if you scared to fight another man and you call yourself a fighter. This is a gladiator sport. You shouldn't fear no man that's flesh and blood like you. Whether he's more talented than you, then he's a better boxer, that means nothing. I done seen great boxers get knocked out by other fighters, get beat by other fighters. Talent is not everything. Talent is one aspect. You have to have the heart and soul, and you got to pick your shots. You got to know how to go to the body. You got to know how to box the ring off to make a guy stop running. If he's running, box him in. Box him in. Hold him. Boom, boom, boom. Rush him. You don't got to let the guy run around. The judges, the refs to see that this guy is running around the ring. That's the reason why they gave Canelo the decision against Lara. Lara was running around too much. Rigondeaux. They won't allow Rigondeaux to win matches when he runs around the ring. Boxing is throwing punches. You have to throw punches. You could box. You could jog around the ring. You could bounce. You could get on your toes and use defense, but you have to throw punches. You got to at least throw 50 to 70 punches around. You can't throw 5 punches around and run the whole fight and think you're going to win a decision. It just looks bad. It's not an exciting fight. It's boring, and you're not going to win. So that's all I got for you, YouTube. I'm out.